you guys are doing well and having the most incredible day as always. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. Honestly, I have never been so excited for a video in my entire life because this video is in collaboration with bestie Kendall Watson. If you guys don't know who she is, you must have been living under a rock because not only has she gone from 0 to 10,000 in like no time whatsoever, which is so incredible, but her videos are just so funny. Not only are they funny, they're so raw, they're so real. She's just a genuine, lovely person, and I found her maybe towards the end of last year, I think it was, and I've watched every single one of her videos, probably more than once. Like, she is such a comfort YouTuber for me, and I just love her so incredibly much. Anyway, before I start gushing about how much I love Kendall, this video, as I said, is in collaboration with her, and I'm so excited, nervous, scared, because basically she has picked what I'm gonna read for the week, which I'm so nervous. I am so nervous but so excited at the same time. So basically, to cut a long story short, I have picked what Kendall is going to be reading for the week and she has picked what I'm going to be reading for the week. We sent each other a video basically announcing to each other which books we've picked for each other. So I am just about to watch hers for the first time and I am so nervous. I'm so scared. I have no idea what she's picked. To be honest, if I could guess, I feel like she's picked me maybe Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh, maybe some of the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J Maas, maybe Throne of Glass, maybe Assassin's Blade. I don't know. That's all I can guess. So we're gonna watch this for the first time together. I am so excited. So without further ado, let's pass over to bestie Kendall and see what she's picked for me to read. Okay, so I'm gonna be watching on my laptop, but I'm gonna insert her on the screen so you guys can see. So let's give it a watch. And I'm so scared. I am so excited that I couldn't wait to film this intro because I need to know the book she's picked for me. So anyway, let's watch and see what she's picked. Oh my god, okay.
Okay, I have picked the books and I hope you're ready. I somehow have like rules and stipulations with every single book I picked, so just bear with me. First one, non-negotiable, Binding 13.
I just knew it. I just knew she was going to pick this book. Also, I love the fact that you're hiding the books under the blanket. Like, I love the reveal, so thank you for that. Okay, I knew this was going to happen, so I'm excited.
Obviously. I just finished these, obviously. I saw it on there and I gasped. So, there is a chance you will want to keep going into keeping 13. I won't stop you. If you do, I won't stop you and I won't be upset about it. So, number 1, Binding 13 by Miss Chloe Walsh.
Okay, I feel like before we go to number 2, I need to grab book 1. Hang on. Okay, so bestie Kendall, of course, has picked Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. I just had a feeling she was going to pick this because she has recently been reading the series and has not stopped talking about it. And I just thought, you know what, she's going to pick it. She's going to see it on there and she's going to pick it. Can we just talk about the size? So I'm going to have to read this in like 3 days. And there is, I don't even know how many pages. 7. Are you kidding? Hang on, I don't want to spoil it. Wait. 801 pages. Are you kidding? I'm going to have a week off work. This is humongous. Okay. Binding 13. Do I know what this series is about? Not really. All I know is that it's based in Ireland. There's heartbreaking moments. If you guys have watched Kendall's video of her reading it, you would have seen her absolutely sobbing. So I am so nervous. I'm going to go into it blind. I'm going to hold up the back so you guys can read it. If you want to, you're more than welcome. But I'm just going to go into it blind. All I know again is the relationships. There is just, I feel like you love the characters. So I'm excited about that. So that is book 1. Okay, moving on to number 2. Again, I swear, if this is Throne of Glass, I am going to jump out the window. I'm going to jump out the window. Okay.
Another non-negotiable, Pucking Around by Emily Rath.
Okay, girl, you're picking thick books. I have got Pucking Around right here. Are you joking? Are you joking? Okay, low-key excited because I really liked the novella that I read of this one. The spice was spicing. Anyway, let's carry on. Sorry. Interrupted you, Kendall. Carry on.
Yes, we're doing it. We're doing it. But the rule is you have to read the prequel novella that one night. Very short and quick. You have to read it before because it doesn't make sense, honestly, without reading it before. Hope you're ready for that one.
Okay, so the good thing is I actually have read that prequel novella already because it was a really short book and I wanted to get my Goodreads goal up last year. So I picked it up on a whim and I never carried on with the series because of the sheer... Like, I'm sorry. Like, okay, do you know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna smash it out. So, as far as I'm aware, Pucking Around is a hockey romance, but it's very spicy. The prequel novella was so spicy, but I absolutely loved it. And again, I just don't know why I didn't carry on with this series. I think, again, it's the sheer size of it. Like, seeing something that big scares me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm nervous, but I'm so excited also. And again, I feel like it is going to make me really want to dive into the next book in the series. So I'm glad I have that ready. But yeah, really, really scared, but so excited. So thank you, Kendall, for book number 2. I also forgot to say, by the way, Kendall's picking me 4 books. We only have to read 3. So I'm just letting you know that. We only have to pick 3, but we thought we'd pick each other 4 just to give each other a bit more of an option. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's move back to Kendall and see the next book she picked.
Book number 3. The Mindfuck series. Now, hold on. Since it is technically books 1 through 5, you can read just the first one, and then if you're not really vibing or it's not really what you're wanting, you can stop. But if you want to read all 5, go for it. Be my guest. If you're not feeling it after the first one, I will not be upset if you stop after the first book. The Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey.
Okay, hang on. I need to get this. One sec. Okay, so the third book... Right, can we just take it? Anyway, so as Bestie Kendall just said, I don't have to technically read all 5 books for this video. Will I read all 5 books anyway? Probably, because I have heard some incredible things about this book that I feel like I am just not going to be able to put it down. This one, from what I can gather, is a FBI agent meets a serial killer. She is the serial killer, he is the FBI agent, and he ends up having a romance with her, but he's also looking for her. I just feel like I'm going to love it, and I don't know, again, why I haven't read it. I think, again, it is the sheer size. Like, I just look at this, and I'm scared. So I'm really glad that you've picked this, because I feel like it is about time I read that book. Anyway, she has one more. If it's another thick one, I swear, I'm trying to think what book it would be. Okay, and the last book she has picked, let's find out together.
The last one's up to you, okay? I'm giving you an option. So my actual choice is the Windy City series, but I wish I could just give you like the second or third one to read, but since you have to start on Mile High, and Mile High is arguably a bad book. A lot of people do not like Mile High, and I wasn't gonna make you read the second one without reading the first one. So if you want to read the first one and then go and read the second one, that would be my choice, but that's kind of a lot of work. So if you don't want to read Mile High, then my choice is Haunting Adeline. This is one of my favorite books ever by H.T. Carlton. So there she is. Sorry, the books were the biggest books I own. I don't make the rules, so here you go. Have so much fun.
Oh, she's so cute. Okay, do I do Mile High? Guys, you can see my pajamas. I'm so sorry. Let's be real. I'm never wearing jeans. I am wearing pajamas. Do I do Mile High and then go into book 2? Or do I read Hunting Adeline? I feel like I'm gonna go with Hunting Adeline because she said it's her favourite. So let me get it, one sec. Okay, so this is Haunting Adeline. I have had this book on my TBR for far too long. Like, it's probably been well over 2 years now. And again, this is a book that as soon as I knew that Bestie Kendall loved it, I was like, okay, I need to read it. Like, I have to read it. I love a spice. I love a dark romance. And this, I feel like, is the optimal book for that genre. Like, I feel like everyone's read this and I need to dive on the bandwagon. So I think I'm gonna go with this one. Okay, so these are the 4 books which Bestie Kendall has picked for me to read in this video. Obviously, as I did mention, we technically only have to read 3. Now, I feel like a part of me wants to read 4 because I feel like I would feel so accomplished, and I also feel like I have to read these because Kendall picked them for me to read. Do you know what I mean? Like, I trust her with my entire being, and I feel like if she said these are good, like, I'm gonna love these. So we're gonna aim for 4. If I read 3, I read 3, but we're gonna read as much as humanly possible in this video, and I'm so excited. I don't know what book I'm going to start with. We're going to fast forward to Future Melody and see what book she picks up first. So thank you so much, Kendall, for a great selection, and let's dive into the reading vlog of book 1. So let's go. Okay, besties, so it is time to start reading book 1 of this video, and for the first book I've decided to go for Pucking Around by Emily Rath. I have had this book on my TBR. I honestly don't even know. Like, I have had this book on my wish list firstly for like probably a year, then I bought it, and it's probably been sat on my bookshelf bookshelf collecting dust for maybe another year, so it is about time I pick this one up. Do I have any idea what this one is about? No. All I know is this one is giving ice hockey. It also has spice. That is literally the only thing I know. I've had a little skim of the back, however, I've just realised on the back it says, I can't fall for a player, let alone 3. Is this a why choose? I am intrigued. On the back it says, my name is Rachel Price and 2 months ago I walked away from the perfect man. We shared one magical night, no names, no strings. I never thought I'd see him again. I was wrong. I'm not going to read the rest. I'm going to let you guys have a read though if you would like to. I have already read the prequel novella, which I did really enjoy, and it was basically a very short, teeny weeny, hella spicy novella, which I really enjoyed. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to diving into this one. I'm assuming that, again, there are 3 players in the team. Is she going to fall in love with all 3 of them? I have no idea. I am just very intrigued by this one. I have downloaded the Kindle version of this book. I also have the audiobook as well. I think that might be a little bit excessive, but it is absolutely massive, and I thought, you know what, if I kind of pick this up, and I firstly like don't want to break the spine, so I feel like it's going to be really uncomfortable, so I have 3 options of ways to read this one, and I think I'm going to dive into the audiobook first, just while I do some tidying and kind of like potter around and stuff like that, and then maybe do a bit of Kindle reading as well. So let's dive into book 1. I am so excited for this, so yeah, let's go. Okay guys, so a little bit of an update. So far in this book we are focusing on Rachel. Rachel is a knee doctor. She focuses a lot on knees and athletes and things like that, but basically she has got the opportunity to go and work for the Jacksonville Rays, who is the main hockey team in this book, and essentially she doesn't realise that Jake, who is the guy that she slept with in the prequel novella, is going to be on this team, and he doesn't realise that the doctor is going to be Rachel, who he slept with obviously a few months before, and that is kind of where we're at the moment. It's a very easy book to read, I will say. Like, I'm finding myself just flowing through the pages and not really taking into account how many pages I'm reading, which is great considering the sheer size of this book. We have a lot of pages to get through this week, and I feel like it's really good that Emily's writing is that sort of writing where I'm just binging it and I cannot put it down. So that so far is where we're at. I'm really enjoying it. If you guys haven't read the prequel novella and you want to read the series, I would highly recommend it, because essentially the prequel novella to this book is Rachel and Jake, and they basically have a one-night stand and they never talk again. They don't swap names, they don't swap numbers. She sneaks out the next morning, and for months and months they're just constantly on each other's minds and they can't shift it, and they do meet again in this book. I'm so excited for them to kind of get to know each other again. I cannot wait to read that, because again, Emily's writing is just so enjoyable. I'm really loving it, and I'm loving all the characters. I'm loving the banter. What I will say is, obviously on the back it did say that I can't fall for a player, let alone 3, and I am reading this kind of trying to work out who the other players are going to be, and I cannot wait to figure it out. So that is where we're at the moment. Just a super quick update. I haven't read absolutely loads, but what I think I'm going to do is put my audiobook on now and listen to a bit of it whilst I do some other things around the house, and then I will sit down a bit later on and read some more, and I just cannot wait. I'm really loving this, and I can just see myself wanting to read this whole series. So yeah, so far so good, really enjoying it. just moved into her new apartment where she's going to be living while she's working with the team, and her neighbor is called Caleb. He's like a grumpy, kind of keeps himself to himself. He has a cute dog, and he has just saved her from her balcony because she got locked out. So I can see them becoming definitely kind of in that relationship vibe. I don't know, he's very obviously flirting with her, and I feel like he obviously likes her, and I can see that she definitely likes him too. So maybe he is gonna be player number 2. I don't know. I have a feeling though. I feel like he's getting a really good cameo at the start of this book. I feel like it has to be him. It couldn't be anybody else. But that does mean we still have 1 spot left, and I don't know who I'm going to assume it's going to be. So let's keep going. I really like Caleb though. He is actually really funny, and he's got a very funny, like, flirtatious banter about him, which I'm really enjoying. So anyway, let's carry on. I'm loving it. It's so good. Guys, when I tell you I have been binging this book, I cannot put this book down. I am currently on page 167. I do not know when the last time was that I sat down and binged like over 100 pages in one sitting in a book. Like, this book has me hooked. The chapters are so short. I'm currently on page, as I said, 167 on chapter 30, and it's just so fast paced. Like, I am just finding myself that I finish a chapter and I need to read the next one. Like, it is not boring. It is so gripping. And honestly, guys, the spice, if you do not like spice, this book is not for you. The spice is spicing, let me tell you. And when I assumed she'd be kind of falling for multiple people, I did not expect to be reading what I'm reading. Like, it is so insane to me, but like, it happens. Like, people do this sort of stuff, and I feel like it is very, I don't even know what the word is. Like, I'm sat here blushing. Like, the spice is so insane. Like, it is so good. And as I said, I'm just loving her writing style. I cannot put this book down. I'm finding myself thinking like, okay, 1 more chapter and then I need to just go and do something else for the day. No, I cannot put this book down. I can see myself probably reading like a good, I don't even know how many more pages today. I really want to read the next couple chapters though, because we are starting to really see more of each character and get more kind of background information, which I'm really enjoying. But the spice is spicing, let me tell you. I love a good spice, so I'm really enjoying it. But wow. Anyway, I just thought I would update you guys. I'm still sat in the same spot I have been sat for the past few hours. I haven't moved. Thor is still asleep, so we're having a great time. It's a Sunday. It's really casual, really chill. I just can't. Anyway, let's carry on. Okay guys, so I have finally finished the first book in this video, and that was Pucking Around by Emily Rath. Now, I didn't really know what to expect with this book. I knew it was going to be spicy, but honestly, the spice, insane. Like, there is a lot of spice in this book. If you don't like spice, I wouldn't even bother picking it up, because I would say a good 70% of this book is pure spice. And for somebody who likes spice, like, I really did enjoy it. The story was great, the spice was spicing, but as I've said, if you don't like spice, I would maybe skip over this one. Overall, I gave this one a 4-star, and that's not me saying that there was anything in particular that I didn't love about this book. I will say there were a few cringy moments. There was a few moments I was a bit like, I cannot quite believe what I'm reading. Like, this is very, I don't dare say unrealistic, but I was kind of reading it thinking like, would that actually happen in that situation? I don't know, but I did really enjoy it. It was so easy to read for a, dare I say, 700-page hockey romance book. I wasn't bored. I wasn't finding myself thinking like, when is this going to end? Whereas a lot of books that are this size, I do sort of think like, hurry up, like, I'm kind of done with this. So I did really enjoy it for that factor, which is why I gave it a 4-star. And yeah, I really did enjoy it. Honestly, I feel like there isn't much I can say about this book without giving too much of it away, because honestly I went into this blind and I really enjoyed it. I loved the aspect of it. I loved the kind of shock factor of everything, and it really kept me on my toes. And as I said, reading a 700-page romance normally I find so incredibly daunting, hence why I have so many of them I need to read, but this I didn't, and I really enjoyed it. What I will say about this book is essentially you follow the female main character and she falls in love with not one, not two, but 3 people. Insane. I'm not going to tell you anything else, but I really loved it. I loved the almost like found family aspect of this book, which, dare I say it, it was kind of giving. Like, I don't know how I can even explain that to you without spoiling it, but it definitely gave a very like cozy found family vibe, even though it was incredibly spicy and not a cozy found family kind of story, if that makes sense. Anyway, this was a 4-star. Kendall, you smashed it. I absolutely loved this, and I will 100% continue the series now. So yeah, absolutely love this one. It's so good. So now we are going to dive into book 2 of this video, and this is the book which honestly I think I could, dare I say, be most excited about, and that is the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey. Now, I have had this book on my TBR for so long I cannot even tell you, but the sheer size of this book again really put me off. It is a what, 700 page book. Like, I feel that when it hits the 700 page mark I get so scared and I really do put off reading books, but I do also love a really big chunky book. So I am so excited to dive into this one. This one, as far as I'm aware, is a FBI agent meets serial killer romance. She is the serial killer and he is the FBI agent looking for her, but he doesn't obviously realize it's her. I cannot wait to read this one. I feel like this is going to be just up my street. I love a kind of thriller mystery, but also with like a spicy romance mixed in. It's perfect. So let's dive into this one. I am so excited, I cannot tell you. So let's dive in and see how much of it we can read. Guys, tell me why I seriously think that Lana Myers is going to be one of the top 5 female main characters I have ever read about. She is so funny, her banter is incredible, she fights for what she believes in, she is so strong, and I can just see me absolutely loving her so much. I'm obsessed with this book, guys. I can see myself really flying through the pages. I am currently on chapter 8, which is, I have lost my page, somewhere around the 50 page mark, I think. I am flying through this. Like, I think I am reading this in the same speed as I read Freida McFadden, and I binge her books so quickly. This, I think, is going to be the same. I can see myself easily reading this whole thing in a few days because it is so easy to read. Like, the writing style of this book is so bingeable that I'm just finding myself wanting to pick it up at any given moment, and I'm really enjoying it. I am also reading this on my Kindle, not on physical form, because I feel like with Kindle I can really binge it a lot quicker. So I am only holding this up for a prop, but I feel like you guys would like to see it. I am really enjoying it. Again, the banter is hilarious. The writing style overall, so incredibly good. I'm really enjoying it. Shall I say I'm enjoying it anymore? I am enjoying it. So we're going to carry on doing some reading, and I'm just so excited to see where this takes us. One thing I will say about this book that I'm finding really sad to read is what happened to Lana to make her the way that she is. You do get some flashback kind of dialogue and things like that, and it is actually heartbreaking to think that even though it is a story, that this person went through what she went through, and it kind of makes sense. Like, obviously, you know, this isn't me agreeing that she should go around killing people, but I think for the reasons that she has, like, it's something that people would probably want to do in her situation. emotions. So yeah, I'm finding it really hard to read the kind of parts of dialogue which is back from the past, but again, it really adds so much more emotion to this book, and it's not just a case of she is absolutely crazy and going around killing people. So yeah, it is a tough one to read. So definitely, again, read the trigger warnings. I highly recommend, because yeah, it's just a lot. So yeah. Okay guys, so it is now the next day, and honestly, I just want to be real. I have not felt this obsessed with a book in so long. Don't get me wrong, we've had 4 stars. We've had 5 stars this year, but this book takes every single 5-star and puts in a 6-star. I am absolutely obsessed with this book. I am so thankful for Kendall for picking this book, because I've had this book on my TBR, as I said, for so long, and I've just been putting it off and putting it off because of the sheer size of it. I mean, it is a 600-page book. No, 700 pages. 700-page book. I see that number and I think, let's save that for another time. Like, let's just save that for never, you know? Like, I want to read it, but I don't want to commit. That's how I felt. But I am so invested in this book. I don't know whether it's because it's split technically into 5 mini books that I'm just finding myself reading book after book after book. Every book ends on a cliffhanger. You need to know what happens next. I don't know whether it's that. I don't know whether it's the fact that my Kindle is displaying like, oh, this book's only 130 pages. And I'm thinking, easy, I'll binge that in like one sitting. I don't know if it's that, or whether it's the fact that the writing and the book overall is phenomenal. I am binging this. I am well over halfway through. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. There isn't really much I can tell you, unfortunately, because it will completely spoil it. But basically, to put it brief and to not spoil anything, you have Lana, who went through a very traumatic childhood, and she basically took herself out of the situation, and now she is seeking revenge on the people who wronged her like 10 years ago previous. And she basically has a plan to do her revenge to these people, and she's basically taking them out one by one and kind of leaving the best till last. From when you read about what actually happened, you kind of agree with Lana, and you think like, okay, like I can see why you're doing this, so like no judgment there, you carry on, you do you. And it's just such a well thought out book, and I'm absolutely obsessed with the writing style. What I didn't realize previous to this was that sadly St. Abbey is no longer with us anymore. However, I have found a bunch of books under a pen name, which I think is Christy. Oh, I had it on my phone, hang on. I want to share it with you guys so you guys can check them out as well. Christy Cunning, and she has a bunch of books. So you bet I am going to read every single one of these, because the writing style of this is exactly what I like. It's so fast paced. The spice is there, but it's not overpowering. Like, it is a spice, but it's not overpowering the whole kind of plot of the book. The plot is the main focus, and it is so good. That is all I'm going to say. I will update you guys on a little bit more as I go through it, but I don't also want this to end. Like, I want to savor this, but I also know I need to finish it for this video, so I'm kind of in 2 minds about that. But yeah, this book is phenomenal. If you've been umming and ahhing honestly about this book and you have been kind of contemplating reading it, I would highly recommend. Again though, please just read trigger warnings, because some of the things that are described in this book are very visual, if you know what I mean, and also there are things that happened in the past that are quite hard to read as well. So yeah, just take that into consideration. But if you want to read it, highly recommend. It is so good. I am anticipating 6-star read. Not even joking. So good. Guys, I honestly cannot keep up with this book. 1 minute I think I know what's going to happen at the end. The next minute it completely shifts. Now I'm just like at square one again. I have no idea what to expect for the ending, and I'm absolutely loving it. I only have 100 pages left. I am sensing possible plot twist at the end of this book, and I cannot wait to find out and sort of see where this whole situation leaves our two main characters. I need to know, is there a happily ever after? Thor's asleep, by the way. If you can hear him snoring, he is snoozing away without a care in the world. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this book. It's so good. Honestly, I don't even know where to start with this book. I absolutely loved this book. Dare I say this is the best book I've read all year. I feel like that is bold, especially because of some of the books I've read this year. This has honestly got to be the best book I've read so far this year. It was so good. If you guys love a mystery thriller, a kind of slightly spicy romance, a kind of taboo romance almost, you will absolutely love this book. Again, as I have said previously, please do check trigger warnings because there is a lot in this story that is really hard to read. However, it is so deep, it is so emotional. I can't even get my words out. Like, the pure emotional attachment I have to these characters is unmatched. I absolutely loved it. I devoured it. I read this book in probably, dare I say, 3 days maybe. Like, this is a big book for me to read in that small space of time, but I couldn't stop. I could not put this book down. It was so good, and I just feel like if this has been on your TBR for a long time, please take this as your sign to pick this book up. It was absolutely incredible. If you guys couldn't tell, this book is an absolute 100% 5-star read for me. I absolutely loved it, and I'm just so thankful for Kendall for making me read this book because, I mean, I knew I was gonna love it, but I was putting it off because of the anticipation of almost the pressure to love this book, but I absolutely ate this up. I'm just obsessed. I am so gutted and heartbroken that, as I did mention, the author is no longer with us because what I would give to have a part 2 of this book, I honestly can't even tell you. Like, I feel like I need books 6 to 10, like, immediately. But anyway, this was phenomenal, incredible. I am just so thankful and so grateful to Kendall for making me read this book because it was just, honestly, it was just so incredible, and I just had the most magical time reading it. So that is book 2 of this video complete, and again, a really good one. Okay, so now diving in to book 3 of this video, and I am probably honestly the most scared to read this book in particular because I know that this book is emotional. I know some bits are hard to read, and I just don't know if my heart can take it at the moment, but we are diving in, and we are of course reading Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. I have just been putting off the series for so long simply because the sheer size. This is a 784 page book. It's a romance, so as far as I'm concerned, it's a romance. Is it? I don't even know. It's got a broken heart on the front, so it's not giving good vibes. So we're gonna dive in. I don't really know too much about what this is about. All I know is that every single person that has told me to read this has also told me that their heart breaks in two, like this, when reading this series. So I am excited to dive in. I am so scared though. I don't really know much about what it's about. All I know is a sports romance in Ireland. So let's dive in. I'm excited, I am nervous, so let's go. Okay guys, so I thought I would just sit down now quickly and do a little bit of an update on Binding 13. It is not at all what I expected. I feel like there is already so much going on in this book that I'm literally thinking, like, what the fuck is that about? And I'm probably only not even a fifth of the way through the book. Like, there is so much happening already that I'm sort of absolutely baffled by, I'm not gonna lie. So, a brief overall kind of review so far. We've got Shannon and we've got Johnny. So Shannon is basically a girl girl who I believe she is 15 and she was getting severely bullied in her old school. In her previous school she got bullied, so she decided, you know what, enough is enough. She spoke to her mum and they decided to send her to a private school, which is the Tommen University basically. So that is where she's gone, and that is where she bumps into Johnny, or shall I say his rugby ball bumps into her face because he accidentally kicks a ball and it hits her in the face. And then that's how they meet, and they end up kind of almost getting this really quick attachment to each other, which is it's really endearing to read about, but also I feel like someone's hearts are going to get broken in this. I'm so nervous about it. I don't know why, I just have that feeling. I am really enjoying it. That is kind of where we've got to so far. We've learned a little bit more about Johnny and about some things he's going through, and I'm also feeling that Shannon has a lot more going on than what she's letting on at the moment, because I feel her dad is giving me bad vibes and he's just making me a little bit uncomfy. I don't know, he's not sitting right with me, so I don't know whether anything's going to happen in regards to that, because it's going to honestly break me, I think, because I'm already feeling myself so attached to these characters, and I've only read a tiny portion of their story and I can just feel myself sobbing at this book already, and I'm only a tiny way through, so that kind of makes me a little bit nervous. But that is basically where we're at. We've really only just literally scratched the surface of this. They haven't really had any more interaction other than that one day where he hit her in the face and she basically passed out and he had to take her to the nurse and that kind of thing. So yeah, we haven't really seen them kind of interact as a duo together, but so far I am really enjoying the writing style. That is one thing I'm finding very easy, is the writing style and kind of the way it's written. Obviously it is based in Ireland, so there is a few kind of slang words there in that sort of sense, but I'm really enjoying it and I'm just finding it really bingeable, which is good but dangerous considering the entire series is absolutely huge. I feel like it's really going to mess up my TBR for next month. So yeah, I am really enjoying it, as I said, and that's where we're at the moment. Nothing else to report. I'm just letting you guys know it's really good so far. I don't know what is in this. I am in love. I don't even know how, and I don't even know why. I feel so incredibly protective over Johnny and Shannon. I just am scared. This heart, I feel like, is going to be mine because I can just tell. I feel like something bad's going to happen and it's really putting me on edge. But if something bad happens to Johnny and Shannon, I am going to be so upset. I don't know what it is about this book, but something is really making me feel very protective, very caring. I just love them so much. They are giving me such joy that if anything happens to them, I am going to sue Chloe Walsh personally. I'm going to be so upset. But yeah, I am obsessed with this. Absolutely obsessed with it. I have been listening to some of the audiobook whilst I've been doing bits and pieces, and I was walking to the gym the other day and I was listening to it on my way there. Tell me why I was literally giggling to myself walking to the gym at how freaking cute they are. They are so cute. The CD exchange, the way they said like to each other, oh, you should listen to this song, it's so good and it reminds me of you. I was giggling. I would honestly have been kicking my feet if I wasn't walking. I'm obsessed. I absolutely love them. I will honestly be so incredibly shocked if this is not a 5-star read, because I am that obsessed with it. I cannot stop reading it. The size of this book I feel like isn't even, I'm not even really thinking about it. Like, I am obsessed with it. I am eating it up and it is so good. The only thing about this book that is really putting me on edge is Shannon's dad. I'm not going to give you guys any spoilers, but he is putting me on edge, and I feel like every time he's mentioned, I just need to like, I need to skim read because I'm so scared, and so he just makes me really nervous, and I just don't like it. So that's where we're at the moment. I don't want to give you guys too much of a spoiler into kind of what is happening in this book, because I feel like going into it blind is the best thing. Please read the trigger warnings though, because I feel like some parts of this book is quite hard to read, and some of it I feel like is going to be hard to read, but it is such a beautiful story so far, and it is a very lovely, like, cutesy slow burn, in the sense of they both really obviously like each other, but like it's almost the awkwardness and the shyness. I cannot tell you how much I'm obsessed with this book. Anyway, that is where we're at the moment. Again, I'm not going to tell you guys too much about the overall plot of the story. I mean, if I'm being real, not a lot has happened yet. Like, I am really far through this book, and not a lot in the sense of romantic progression, shall we say, has happened yet. We've had a peck, we've had a hug, we've had a kiss on the cheek. Like, that is where we're at the minute, and it is just so adorable. I just love it. Anyway, we're going to continue doing some more reading. I really want to give you guys as much of a spoiler-free update as possible, but it is so hard when all I want to do is tell you about this freaking book. Anyway, obsessed with it. Let's read some more. I can't even think about this book without getting emotional. I don't even know where to start. Okay guys, so if you couldn't guess, I finished it. Or did this finish me? Honestly, I have never read a book that's made me feel so many feelings in such a long time. And the funny thing is as well, I feel, correct me if I'm wrong, I honestly think that not an awful lot oh my god, the more I look at this, the more you recognise things on the cover. That's emotional. Anyway, I feel like not an awful lot really happened in this book, and that's not me saying that it was boring or there was no plot, but I feel like it wasn't absolutely insane. It was just so emotional. The level of protectiveness, I can't even say that word, protectiveness, I feel over these characters is unmatched. It really hit. Obviously, this is a 5-star read. I didn't expect to love this book as much as I did. I knew that I was probably going to like it because obviously Bestie Kendall loves it for starters, but also every single booktuber that I watch loves this series, and I've been putting it off, and I knew that I was going to love it. I did not expect the amount of emotion while I was reading this book. It was absolutely insane. So the basic gist of this book, you have Shannon, you have Johnny. Shannon gets bullied basically her entire life, and she finally manages to convince her mum to send her to the Tom and College, which is like a private school, and she goes there and she's having such a great time. She's making some friends, and on her first day she actually bumps into Johnny, or dare I say his rugby ball bumps into her face, and that is kind of how they meet, and it's an instant connection from the both of them. You kind of read both POVs and you know that they both kind of like each other, but it's that awkward, that new kind of friendship. Is it more kind of like relationship? It was just adorable. And I will say as well with this series, please look up trigger warnings if you are triggered by anything in particular, because there were some subjects in the series that were very emotional, very hard to read, and you knew a lot of it was coming as well, which I think didn't help, because like towards the end I had the fear and I was reading it and I it broke me. I'm gonna say that, like, the end of this book broke me, and I really cannot wait to dive into the next book, because I have to know, are certain characters okay? Are certain characters gonna still be in the book? Like, I just don't know, and that is what I just don't know how to describe this book without giving it away, but it was absolutely phenomenal. If you have this on your bookshelves and you do want a very emotional, kind of sucks you into the world sort of series, please read this, but please go in with your heart guarded, because mine was this. Like, this was my heart at the end of this book. It was so emotional, and I just feel for all the characters. So that is kind of what I'm going to tell you about this book. I feel like any other plot points will sort of spoil it, so please just go into it. But what I will say when you read this book is Maroon 5, She Will Be Loved, you will never listen to it the same. I didn't understand that reference at all when people kept saying about it, and then I listened to the song and it makes me want to cry. Like, it makes me want to sob. Anyway, 5 stars, absolutely loved it. Kendall, you smashed it. And yeah, I cannot wait to dive into the rest of the series, but I also am so scared. Like, this made me emotional. I've heard the other ones are worse, so anyway, that is book 3 complete. Let's dive into book 4. Okay, besties, so it is now time to sit and read the 4th book of today's video, and that is, of course, Haunting Adeline. What I will say before I dive into this one, if you guys have any triggers whatsoever, please read the trigger warnings, because I have heard some very insane, dark, taboo situations that go on in this book, and I feel like you really need to read them, especially if you do get triggered about certain subjects. So please read those if you haven't. I am so excited about this one. Honestly, I don't know which book I have been more excited about throughout this whole video, honestly, because all of these books have been on my radar for so incredibly long, and I feel like this has really made me dive in deep with all the books that I've just been meaning to read for like over a year to 2 years. So without further ado, we are going to dive into the 4th and final book, which Kendall has picked for me, and this one particularly, I am just so excited to see what the hype about Zaid Meadows is. Like, Zaid Meadows is the MMC, and he is supposedly incredible. I just cannot wait to find out more about him, so let's go. Okay, so should I or should I not be absolutely obsessed with a stalker? Because Zaid in this, not only does he sound just phenomenal, but also he is so funny. Like, his, dare I say, like, banter or straight to the point attitude towards Addie is so funny. Like, he'll just straight up say to her, like, oh, like, when we get married, like, blah blah blah, and she's like, we're not getting married, like, you're stalking me. And he's like, yeah, okay, like, whatever, like, I know we're gonna get married. It's just so funny to me. I absolutely love this. I'm also obsessed with the writing style. I'm finding it so quick, so fast paced. So essentially we are following Adeline, or Addie, and she has inherited a big manor from her nan, and she basically got that from her parents. So it's basically a family house. Anyway, she's inherited this really big, massive manor, and she's also an author, so she's there quite a lot of the time writing her new books, and she realizes that somebody is basically staring through her window, and it's becoming apparent that she has a stalker. She's not really that bothered by him. She's kind of almost, dare I say, enjoying the fact he's stalking her. That's basically the situation. Then you've got Zaid, or Z, as we know him at the moment, and he is said stalker, but he also has his own business, which essentially, without spoiling it, I don't think it's a spoiler because it is mentioned very early on, he basically rescues women and children from sex trafficking and different things like that. So he goes, does the killing, does the rescuing, and brings them home, etc. Now, I think it's therefore okay for me to love Zaid, even though yes, he is a stalker, but he's also saving people every single day. So I'm happy to love him, and he is definitely up here on the book boyfriend vibe. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm obsessed with him, and that's basically the situation. But we also have a kind of subplot to this story where Addie is trying to find out who killed her great-grandmother, because she was murdered in said house that she's living in years and years ago. And you basically get these little letters in the book which are written by her great-grandmother grandmother in a diary, and you get to kind of see different entries throughout the book, and we're slowly getting snippets about her life and what happened to her. Addie's basically on the hunt to find out like who killed her great grandmother and like what is the story behind that. So that is where we're at the moment. There is a lot going on within this book with kind of Zaid and his business, but also Addie and her friendship, and I am just obsessed with it. Like, I love this. I don't want it to end, and I'm just really, really enjoying myself. I also love the fact that we're just finding so many snippets kind of throughout the book, and it's all linking together, and it's just, I have nothing bad to say about this book. It is so good, and I'm just thoroughly enjoying it. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to read some more and keep you guys updated. So I don't know why it took me this long to kind of pin this together, but basically Adeline's best friend Dea works for the company Z, which is Zaid's business. And I didn't even pin this together. Like, tell me why it took me this long to put those points together. I don't even know. Like, I'm just absolutely obsessed with this book. It's so funny because as well, obviously Dea knows that Addie has a stalker. So she was like, right, I'm gonna put security cameras all around your house and you're gonna be really, really safe here. And then Zaid's like, well, I'm just gonna turn them off because I have access to everything anyway because it's my company. So it's all quite funny. Like, obviously it's not funny, like having a stalker, etc. like in the real world is not funny. This is just a story, therefore I'm allowing it to be funny in my head. Like, I just love Zaid a lot, and I feel like he is so, like, he's romantic but not. Like, he gives her roses but takes all the thorns off. Like, I just love him. Like, I wish somebody would do that for me. Like, give me some red roses and take all the thorns off so I don't prick myself. Anyway, that's just me rambling about Zaid again. I am obsessed. I love it. It's so entertaining. If you guys, as I said, don't have any triggers, or please read the trigger warnings. If nothing bothers you, please read this. It is so good. I am stressed reading this book. So we've just got to a point where, if you guys don't want any spoilers, by the way, please skip to a few minutes. But basically we've just got to the point where Addie has gone to the fair and she's realised that Mark and his weird group of friends are there, and essentially her and Dea have just like split up because Addie wanted to go into the mirror maze. Now Zaid is like going in the mirror maze to like mess with her or whatever, and I just know something is going to happen to Dea. Something's going to happen to her, and that is going to be the stress, like plot twist, kind of tension situation towards the end of this book. And I am so worried that if anything happens to Dea, I am going to be so upset, and I just feel unready for it. And I feel like I know that's going to happen because Zaid now knows about Mark's intentions, and he's kind of made it known to Mark that, you know, he heard what he said and he knew he was going to try and take Addie away and Dea away. But now Addie and Dea have split up, and I cannot cope with what's going to happen. I'm on page 390, by the way. I am flying through this book, and I just don't know what to expect. I don't know what to do. I have wrapped myself up in a blanket. I'm reading it on my iPad. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm being an iPad kid for some reason. But yeah, I am flying through it and I'm stressed. So I thought I would update you guys on that situation because I just cannot go through this alone, and I'm so concerned about Dea and what's going to happen. I have messaged Kendall, I have messaged my friend Zoe. I am basically telling everybody that I know that has read this book that this is where I'm at, and I'm stressed because I need comfort and I need reassurance. Has anyone given me comfort or reassurance? No. So I am sat here now stressing out because I don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, I'm going to keep reading, and I swear to God, I just can't cope with this. Anyway, let's keep reading and see what happens. Okay, so we basically finished off when Addie went into the mirror maze, Zaid went in, things were getting spicy, things were getting heated, and all I can think about is, where is Dea? Is Dea okay? These are annoying, actually. I'm just gonna take these off. Is Dea okay? Is she fine? I have a horrible feeling she is not okay, and it is stressing me out. Also, I don't know if this is just me, every single time Zaid and Addie have an intimate moment and he puts his hand on her stomach, it is always quoted as my flat stomach, which am I just salty because like I can't relate? Probably, but I just don't know why it's necessary to say my flat stomach, I have good genes, like all these sorts of things. I'm like, you go girl, like I'm so glad that you are so body confident about yourself, but also saying flat stomach every time is just so annoying. We've had it twice in one chapter so far and once a little bit earlier on, and I'm just like, I get it. You've got a lovely flat stomach, like good for you, but you know, can't relate. Anyway, I'm gonna carry on doing some reading. I just thought I'd give you guys a little bit of an update. That is where we left off. I'm currently on page 403 and we have 565 pages of the book. So only about 500, no, not 500 pages left, only about 162 pages left, if we're going to be specific. So we have quite a few. I don't think I'm going to get them all read today because it is currently 7:40 at night, so I don't think I'm gonna get through the rest of the pages tonight. If I do, props to me. I don't really have a lot of plans for this evening apart from reading, so I might very well get through this, but if not, I have the weekend to finish, so yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna carry on reading. I'm gonna stop rambling. I feel like I've just spoke about random stuff for roughly about 2 minutes now, so let's carry on doing some reading and see where this book takes me. I feel an emotional roller coaster happening. I don't know. Anyway, let's carry on. This book was phenomenal. This book, I knew I was gonna love it. I didn't realise how much, I'm not gonna lie. So if you guys couldn't tell, I have finally finished Haunting Adeline. I didn't expect to love this book so much. There was so much more going on with this story that I didn't expect, and it really gave the book so much depth and so many twists and turns that I just didn't know where to look, to be honest with you. It was incredible. This was an absolute 5-star read, and Zaid Meadows, I love him. I am obsessed with him. The fact that he cut the thorns off the roses before he gave them to Adeline, actually so cute. Yes, he's a stalker, but still so cute. So I know that I have touched upon kind of what this book is about, so I won't go too much into detail, but obviously this one, it follows Zaid and it follows Adeline. Zaid is within a business which is very, very dangerous and can cause problems in his personal life, so that is why Adeline is she needs to be protected at all times. There is a hair somewhere on my face. Has it gone? Anyway, he basically protects Adeline at all times, whether he's watching her or he has someone else doing it. He is very, very stressed of the fact that his work could follow him to her, and that is for great reason. Things do happen, and this book, when I tell you, this book ends on the biggest cliffhanger. I need to read book 2 immediately. Like, just even the first like chapter, like I need to know what the hell is going on, because when I tell you, this honestly knocked me on the floor. I did not expect to be left on such a cliffhanger. I mean, it makes so much sense because obviously there is a second book and the author will want you to pick that one up, but when I just need to know. I need to know who it is. I need to know what's going on, and if you've read this book you will know why, but I feel there was a person at the end of the book which texted Adeline. I think that person is involved. That's my guess right now. I obviously am not going to be reading the second book in this video, but I will keep you updated with reading vlogs and maybe wrap up and stuff like that. But I have a feeling that person is involved, and I'm so scared because I loved that character. But then I'm also thinking, like, surely not. Like, surely it's not that character because that character has so much attachment to Adeline. It cannot be that person. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. Maybe somebody stole the phone. I don't know, but I'm so excited to dive into the second book. But anyway, I digress. The first book, incredible, 5-star read. What I would say is 100% make sure you read the trigger warnings, because a lot of the spicy scenes don't seem to be consensual in that sense, and I feel like if that bothers you to a certain extent, like, you won't want to read this book. But if you kind of read both points of views, it's hard for me to justify it, and I don't want to justify his actions at all, but you read both points of views in a lot of the scenes, and it is consensual, but obviously in a sense it's not. So you want to make sure that you are reading trigger warnings, and obviously this is not me at all justifying what he's doing, but it's hard to kind of understand where they sort of lie with it because you know they both want it. So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling on, but all I'm saying is make sure you read trigger warnings because a lot of it is intense. So this was the 4th and final book I am reading for today's vlog, and it was another 5-star read. I'm obsessed. Kendall, you smashed it. So this is the end for today's reading vlog. I really hope you guys did enjoy, and before we end I just want to do a quick roundup of all the books we've read in today's video with my star ratings. So the first book we picked up in this video was Pucking Around by Emily Rath, and I gave this one a 4-star. Then we read the Mindf series by St. Abbey, and I gave this one a 5-star. Loved this book, so good. We then read the book that completely broke my heart, and that is Binding 13, which of course was another 5-star read. And we finished this video off with another 5-star read, and that is of course Haunting Adeline. Loved this book. So good. So these are all of the books we managed to read in today's video. Honestly, Kendall, you could not have picked better books. Every single one of these books I absolutely loved. I will be continuing this series. I will be continuing this series. I will read the other book in this one, and I demolished the Mindfuck series. You absolutely smashed it. Honestly, love them all. This is going to be the end of today's video. I really hope you guys did enjoy. Obviously, if you guys haven't yet already, please make sure you go and check out Kendall's video. I will leave it down below in the description. If you're anything like me, you will be absolutely obsessed with her cozy kind of real content. It is so good. She's so funny. She's so just open, and honestly, comfort YouTuber 100%. If you guys need a new one, make sure you check her out. So as I said, this is everything for today's video. I really hope you guys did enjoy. I am so sorry for how long this video was. I really tried to kind of snippet it down, but honestly there were just so many moments that I really wanted to document that I just couldn't cut them out. So I'm so sorry this video is basically an hour long, pretty much a movie, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't yet already, please hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 13,000 of you, so I would really appreciate it if you guys are new, or if you haven't yet subscribed, please do. I love you guys so incredibly much, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.